I have been going through some really big life changes, and so good news, I have a feeling you're going to be seeing a lot more of me on YouTube, and I'm going to have more time to upload. So yeah, super excited about that. Today I have been feeling super called the past couple weeks to do a channeling. I know I haven't done one in a long time, so no cards today, no nothing. It's just me, you, and spirit, and we're going to see what comes through. This is going to be a message to the collective. I have had a lot of higher energies reach out to me and kind of like, okay, it's time for you to channel, it's time for you to channel. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I've really been feeling called to the archangels lately. So we're just going to see what comes through. It's just going to be a chill video. Like I said, you, me, and spirit. So grab your cup of tea, cup of coffee, whatever. Go sit outside while you watch this. And yeah, let's get started. All right, so I'm just gonna take a moment to tune in. I'm trying to move away from a lot of editing from my videos just because it's a lot easier for me and more motivating for me to upload when I don't have to worry about editing as much. So, all right, give me a moment to tune in and we'll see what comes through. Okay. So I'm connecting to Archangel Raphael right now, who's known as the Archangel of healing, new light. He's telling me new life and greater, newer beginnings is what he's telling me. This is where the collective is moving into. But, and there's always a catch, he's showing me that's what's on the other side of everything that everyone is going through right now and is moving through. Because it's not something that's going to happen tomorrow. What he's showing me is that the collective is working through a lot of its shadows, a lot of its darkness. There is a collective purging and releasing and cleansing that's happening, that we're moving through. And if it's not happening for you right now, that is what you are going to be stepping into when you come across this video. And he's saying it's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to fear. It's a natural part of life. And he's showing me the ups and downs. And you know that we are all about the ups and downs and the waves and the hills and valleys on this channel. And so it's a natural course of life. And he's saying this is a reminder to those who may be afraid of what they move through, who may be afraid of what they're being asked and called to see and to release and to let go. And I'm seeing a lot of chains breaking for so many people. Chains and everything that is keeping you bound and wound up and holding you back from where you want to go in life. So this is where the collective is moving through. And he's pointing out specifically the message about transition. That yes, you go through your shadow and you're purging. And then there's all this light, bright blessings on the other side and this new life, right? But what about the in-between? And that's what he's pointing out, is there's the in-between. And it's really funny because it's fall where I am anyways. It's autumn, and autumn is a time of transition. Well, actually it's winter now, but never mind. I thought it was fall. Wow, I'm living in the past. Okay, tuning back in. But that's his message, is there's a time of transition, is you can't forget about the in-between. There's that time of integration and adjustment of, okay, I've released and I've let go and I've cleansed, and all this heavy stuff needs to dissipate, and you need to adjust to the release of all that energy. It would be pretty intense going from a completely dark room to being in full bright sunlight, right? Like you need time to adjust, kind of like transitions lenses. Maybe somebody wears those in this who's watching. Okay. I have a feeling that the collective also needs to turn to things that make you laugh. Something comedic, because that is what's going to help you to move through the energy, is the laughs, the jokes, the smiles. Find something to lift you, because it's that joy that helps you to move through, and it gives you a boost, right? You know, like you find something that makes you laugh or smile, and it brightens your day and lifts you up. And so that's really a key here, is when you're in this heavy energy and you're working through it, and you know, you're doing what you need to do, and you're getting so serious about it. And he's saying that what's needed is a reminder to, you can still enjoy life while you're going through your shadows. You can still enjoy life while you're doing the hard work, you know? Okay. He's saying that there are people, well, this is a collective message, so, but there are many who doubt and who find themselves stuck in the uncertainty of what's on the other side when you're in the darkness. And it's that period where you question, when is this going to end? How can I believe that there's a light at the end of the tunnel? How much longer is the tunnel? And going with the phrase, it's like, can you give me something to keep going? Can you give me something so that I can keep moving forward? And he's saying it's like, there's it's about getting caught in that despair, or rather not getting caught in that despair, because you don't want to get caught up in it. That's what keeps you stuck, is that questioning and that, you know, unsureness of, I don't know where this is leading me. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be in this space. What is it all for? What he's bringing through, and there's a breeze that's coming through that's like perfect with his message right now, is there's a need to almost like let go of this need to hold on, because that, it just creates more tension for you. Whereas if you were just to open up and let the flow take you to wherever it needs to take you, there's less resistance and there's less turmoil within you. And it allows the energy to show you what you need to see, what you need to do. It's like all the answers are in just like either releasing or accepting or surrendering, you know, whatever word you like, for this sense of, okay, just row your boat merrily down the stream, just take me where I need to go. Just fall into that flow, and he's saying you'll fall into alignment. That's how you find the alignment, is don't resist. And what does that mean? You know, if you feel like you're having a heavy day, don't force yourself to smile. If you feel like you have so much turmoil, and it's like, don't force yourself to think that, oh, everything's okay, I can just sweep it under the rug. It's like, whatever is coming up for you, don't try to shove it down. Just let it. Literally just let it go. Let it take you to where it needs to take you. Yeah, that's powerful. Okay, let me see. What he's bringing through. Okay, there's something coming through here about external circumstances in the world and what's going on in world events, in world news, and really not just on a macro scale, like what's going on, like with countries or governments or anything like that, it's not just that. But what he's bringing forward is that there are going to be a lot of shifts happening, and that's a given, right? Like we're all in the ascension process, and that's a part of what the world is undergoing and that we're flowing into, really. And he's saying it's like, in the grand scheme of things, don't forget who you are, and don't forget where you are, and don't forget that you also play a part in the entire story. You know, like every word in a book makes up the entire story. So it's like, don't disregard that just because you are one individual. It all begins with one individual. And so remember that it's like, don't get lost in everything happening externally. And if that does happen, always remember to bring it back to you. Bring it back to you, bring it back on the small scale, because big changes happen on a small scale. It all begins with that one step, with that one person, with that one individual, with that one different choice that you decide to make for a better world. And it's really powerful. Okay. Yeah, I really haven't done a channeling like this in a long time. It is just coming right through me. Oh man, okay. What else do we have? Archangel Raphael. There's a lot of importance being placed on your connection to the divine. There's a lot of importance being placed on remembering your spiritual connection and remembering your connection to source, really. It's like remembering the magic that you hold and the power that you have, but also the resource that you have where you are able to connect to divine wisdom at any point. You always have that access. You will always, always, always have that access, even if you feel like you're disconnected. That's coming out of a shadow. That's coming out of something that you need to look at internally, right? Because the shadow is, this is you, and this is your connection to the divine, but the shadow is creating this projection where you can't see past it. And so he's really stressing the importance of remembering your spiritual connection, because that is the connection that's what has all the answers. That's what leads you through turmoil and chaos, or perceived chaos, rather. Because I always like to think everything in the world is just organized chaos for a higher good. That's just me, though. So I feel like he's showing me there's going to be questioning of, with the paradigm shift, with the worldly shift, there's going to be a lot of questioning of, man, like really the sense that he's giving me is like, how can this all be for a higher purpose kind of thing? Like with everything that's happening in the world, all these shifts and collective changes that are, for lack of a better word, they are going to be intense for many of us. And, take that whatever intense means to you. And what he's showing me is that there's going to be that questioning of like, I don't know, like, where's the light in this? How is this all for a higher purpose? I don't know how this is going to turn out. Like, essentially, like, what I'm seeing is people like questioning, like, how is there a God if this is all happening, kind of thing. So where he's leading me from that is to drop into your heart. To drop into your heart, where when you see, you know, everything that occurs. And I'm not trying to tune in on anything very specific, because that's not the point of the message here, but it's the feeling. And it's the feeling of when you feel like so overwhelmed by all that's happening, you need to drop into your heart. Your heart center is what holds that connection. It's what holds that light. And essentially it's where you're able to not only take care of yourself, but to take care of others around you. Because the world needs more heart-centered energy. And it makes a lot of sense why the last reading that I did was all about dropping into your heart, like every single pile in the last pick a pile. It was all about dropping into your heart, because that is what the world needs. 100%. It's making me feel really emotional, because that is the point of so much of the healing that everyone is moving through. Is to become more compassionate, is to become more loving. Oh my God, it's so profound. So, where do we go from there? Okay. So, you drop into your heart. You're dropping into your heart and you feel so loving. You know how much power there is when you feel that passion and that love, and the most powerful, the most potent heart-centered energy that you can think of. That's going to come up. And that's going to come up in the form of expression, and not just like expressing yourself. Here I feel it's going to come up in the way that people are going to want to make a difference. You're going to want to make a difference. You're going to want to make things right, in the sense of like, you're going to want to bring balance to the world, not just on a societal level, but on a global scale, like with the earth, with the environment, with the communities, and not just your close-knit ones, but the ones on a grand scale. Because remember, like, we are all interconnected, and I really feel like people are going to be called to make a difference in whatever way that looks like for you, and you'll know what your calling is, because it all stems from your heart. And once you're able to tap into that heart energy and really harness it, that is where your voice comes out. That is where your expression comes out. And that's where you're capable of, you know, speaking your truth and being heard and making a difference. And making a difference. Okay. That's what leads us all into this new world. And it's really funny, because what's kind of coming up in my mind anyway, is the new world isn't like we're going to toss this part of society away. Like, we're going to separate all these people over here, and we're just going to have our own little new club over here and keep those people separate, because they're the no do-gooders over there, and we're just going to have our love and light here. And that's not exactly what it's going to look like. And it's like, this new world involves all of us, you know, and there has to be this realization and coming to this conclusion that we are all here to shift into this new light. We're all here to make it a better world for all of us. Okay. And this new world is, you know, it's like I was saying, it's like the collective is going through this purging, the world is going through this purging, and it's in the shadows that you understand what's wrong. It's in the shadows that you understand what needs to be fixed. And it all starts from an individual scale, right? It all starts from all of us going through our own life problems and our own life lessons, and then we go through it collectively too. And then we are able to teach each other, you know, what makes a better world, what makes a good person, what, you know, how to get through these lessons and how to bring balance. So it's this interesting energy he's giving me. It's less about, you know, it's about like all of us saving each other in a sense. I just think that like that's such a funny thing because we're, you know, we're always hoping that, oh, someone else is going to save us, like a miracle is going to happen. But it all starts from ourselves. Like we all have the power to make a change. Okay. Okay, what is he giving me right now? There's a shadow of doubt over what this ascension process is meant to create, is what I can say. It's like there are people who doubt, like, I don't think we're ever going to get there. Like, look at the state the world is in right now, and how much worse is it going to get, and all of that, and all of that, and all of that. And it's like, I don't think we're going to get there. I think we're just going to ruin the planet before that we ever get there. You know, like those kind of thoughts. That's where your connection to the divine has to come back in. You have to reconnect, and you have to come back to the knowing that there is a greater purpose for everything. It's like you can't just look at the world from this tiny little perspective of what you can see. You have to come back to that knowing, to that source of, yes, there is always a greater lesson at hand. Like you have to look at the big picture. You know, like you have to look at the big picture. That's what's going to help take you out of that, you know, that despair, like kind of like, oh, woe is me energy. And I don't want to say that in the sense of it's like you're not allowed to experience that. Like, yes, you are. But you should also remember you're capable of getting out of that energy. You always have the power to get out of that energy. Okay. What else? What he's showing me is that there is this energy of like when we're moving into this new paradigm. And I mean, we already are. But once we begin to see the changes that we want to see, and, you know, maybe they're just small wins. Maybe they're not always going to be big wins. There will be big wins. Absolutely. If he's saying like, absolutely, there will be big wins. But there will also be small ones. And it's like you have to celebrate. You have to celebrate that. You know, you have to celebrate the small wins as well as the big ones. And it's like, what he's showing me is this, there's this sense of feeling really good about yourself, like really proud of, yeah, like I went through that, or we went through that, and look at this positive difference that we made. And it's that feeling of, wow, you know, like I did this. I was capable of doing this. Like I made a difference. Like I didn't think that I would get here, but I did. It's that energy of getting on the other side of it, right? And now you're looking back and seeing like, look at all that I achieved. Look at all that we achieved. And that's growth. That at the essence of it, that's growth. That's what it's all for. Okay, what else? So he's pointing out it's important right now to take a look at the present moment, where you are in the present moment, and to, what he's showing me is, what's that phrase? It's kind of like take count of all that you have right now, or that all that you're going through. And it's like, what I'm seeing is people like really taking a look at, okay, what's going on inside my life right now? What's going on in my life right now? And taking a look and seeing like, okay, where is it time for me to make a change? Where can I make a change? What I feel here, it's more the sense of realizing first, and then beginning to step into the action of like, okay, I think it's time for me to make some changes. I think it's time for me to start looking at things from a different perspective, start approaching them differently, because I feel this fire lighting up in the collective and being like, okay, it's time to take some action. Like, it's time to jump into it. It's time to light it up. What else? Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's coming back to the present moment. It's coming back to, you know, we just went through a whole journey, right? Like, we went through the shadows, we went through the light, and now it's back to the present, because all the changes that you can ever possibly make always start at the present, right? Like, there's so much power held in what you're capable of doing right now at this very moment. And that's all it takes, is understanding that you as an individual can make a huge difference with the choices that you make in your life and how they domino effect into the collective. All right. Wow. All right, I feel like that is it. I feel his energy stepping back now. Wow. All right. Thank you, Archangel Raphael, for coming through, for bringing through messages that we all needed to hear as a collective. In love and light and truth. Okay. Okay. Woo! Okay. All right. That was potent. That was powerful. That was powerful. Holy crap. Wow. I have no idea how long I've been going. Oh my God, it's almost been 30 minutes. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Wow. Let me just take a moment to just really integrate all of that. Yeah, I can definitely understand why that has been wanting me to talk for the past couple weeks. Okay. I feel really out there. I need to ground. I need to take a few more minutes to ground. So I'm going to wrap this up. I really hope that there was something that somebody needed to hear in this channeling. And yeah, let's rock and roll with these eclipses coming up, and what is the next one in like a few days. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Let me know if anything resonated for you in this video. Other than that, I'm sending you so much love and so much luck and power and energy and magic, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.